All right, so I have a clip here I want to show you. This is Jack Lew. Jack Lew was the Treasury Secretary for in the Obama administration, and he has something really interesting, kind of an interesting angle, and something to think about when it comes to a crisis and how to handle a crisis. So let's go ahead and take a look and listen to what he has to say.
Protections expired. I have to tell you, as a macroeconomic matter, the need is great. It's a crisis. And you don't have to take my word for it. Look at what the chair of the Fed, Jay Powell, has been saying. His predecessors, Janet Yellen and Ben Bernanke, Republican economists like Glenn Hubbard, Ken Rogoff, a Harvard economist who was making the case that we needed to balance the budget. They're all saying we need to do something large to avoid having the economy go into a nosedive. Now, it's not just about numbers. You can get into a debate between 1 trillion and 3 trillion and forget that what it's really about is values. It's about what are we going to do to solve a crisis. You just need to do the things that will keep the economy from collapsing and keep families from going into states of real crisis. Just to put a few numbers on it, you have 7 million children living in households that are behind on the rent. You have between 8 and 15 million children living in houses that don't have enough food to put on the table. What is the Senate doing about this? Close to nothing. That costs money. I would argue that every dollar you put into those households will get spent and will help stimulate the economy. I think that the bringing to the table a proposal to increase the tax deduction of business lunches and doing nothing to put food on the table for starving families, that's a question of values. That's not a question of money. A bill is unacceptable if it doesn't deal with the most vulnerable.
All right, so you hear what he's talking about here, and this is something that's being overlooked. Like we're missing this whole point here. It's about values. It shouldn't be about money. And it's unfortunate that we've gotten to a point where all we talk about is the cost of things instead of just where are our values? Should we be taking care of these children in these families in a time of crisis? Should we be doing that, or should it just be about money? You hear about the different bills. You heard. I watched Stephen Mnuchin all day today. Watched him yesterday. Every time he talks about the HEROES Act, it's the $3 trillion bill. The $3 trillion bill. He's not talking about what's in it. He's just talking about how much it costs, and that's all we're hearing. We're hearing that. We even hear the $1 trillion bill. Can we get it to $2 trillion? Or when the CARES Act was signed, it was the $2 trillion CARES Act. So we're so focused on money, we're forgetting about our values, and that's the saddest part about it. We've all probably been in this situation, either on the receiving end or we've been a person who's provided this, but you're in a situation where someone comes to you, they're in dire straits, they're going through a crisis, and you bring them in, you say, hey, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. If you need a place to stay, you can stay here. No, I'm not charging you anything or anything like that. You don't even have to say that. But when you're talking to someone, you say, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. I'll take care of you. That's showing that you care for that person. Our government is not showing that they care for us right now. They're just talking about the money. This costs money. This costs money. We can't do this. We're going to pass this debt on to our children. But guess what? Those same children that you're concerned about passing the debt on to, a lot of those children are starving right now. With the enhanced unemployment dropping from $600 to $200, guess what? That's less money that's going into that household. That's less money that they can use to buy food and things like that. So Mr. Lew brought up a really good point. It's like we're losing our values here. The government's not showing that they care for the people. Just like we're looking at other countries and they're coming in situations where they're paying stimulus checks every month to their citizens, and they're taking care of the whole business situation by giving the businesses enough money to pay all their employees so they don't have to lay off employees. So you can take out this whole enhanced unemployment, all together you can take care of it. That's what they're doing. But we're trying to figure this out. Oh, well, you know what? They're making more money, so there's no incentive to go back to work. So we're going to drop that down. So now they're not making as much money, and maybe that'll force them to go back to work. Like we're forcing people to go back to work, forcing people to go to jobs that a lot of these jobs don't even exist or exist anymore. And so it's a question of values, and we've lost that. Now it's just all about money. And correct me if I'm wrong, but anytime we hear about these different bills, we're hearing about the money. I heard Stephen Mnuchin in one interview, he said $3 trillion at least 3 times. At least 3 times. Because his thing is, I'll say $3 trillion, and when you hear that price tag, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want it. But we're not talking about what's in it. We're not talking about the things that can help people that are in these different bills or in these different proposals. And that's what we should be focused on. And so it really bothers me when I hear it just all about money, all about money. We need to talk about the values of this country. And that's the way that we get back. I mean, and then also these people will be loyal. If you take care of them now, they're going to take care of everything else because we're the ones that stimulate the economy. And if we know that people are taking care of us, then we're going to be more willing to stimulate the economy. Do you think people on unemployment right now that are thinking about, am I going to get $600 next week, or am I going to get $200 next week, or am I going to get anything next week? Do you think they're trying to stimulate the economy right now? They can't. They can't do it. And so if you show them confidence, you show them that you care, then they're going to return the favor by stimulating the economy, which is going to get us back on track. Businesses will be able to open back up, and they're going to have, they're going to be able to bring in that revenue. And so like I said, he brought up a very, very good point. We need to start thinking about values of this country, and how, when we're looking at situations like this, it needs to be values first, not money first. Okay, it's like you go into a store and the first thing you see is the price. You don't know anything about the product or the product that you're buying. You just see the price. I mean, we really need to be past that. We really do. We need to start thinking about values. I want to know what's in the bill. I don't want to know how much the bill costs first. I want to know what's in the bill. And sure, the HEROES Act, it had pork in there. The HEALS Act, it's only $1 trillion, but it has pork in there. So they both have pork. It's like, you can get rid of that stuff and focus on the stuff that's important, but I want to know what's in the bill. I don't want to just hear that the bill's $3 trillion, so it's dead on arrival. I want to know, okay, is it providing money for essential workers? That's something that I think we should be doing. So have that in the bill. You have politicians right now. You have Stephen Mnuchin, you have Mitch McConnell, both saying the same thing about this enhanced unemployment. Well, they're all saying the same thing about the enhanced unemployment. You're making more on unemployment than you are in your regular job, but they're using examples of, your neighbor is not working, but you're going to work every day, and that neighbor on unemployment is making more money than you. Well, then fix it, because they've been doing that for the last 3 months. So fix it. You know how you can fix that? That person that's going to work, you can improve their wages. You can give them a bonus for 3 months or until the end of the year. And guess what? They're now making more money than that person on unemployment, because we've already, this bill was signed March 27th, the CARES Act. So all that time, this person on unemployment, if that's your argument, this person on unemployment has been making more than his neighbor. So you need to fix that. But is that in the HEALS Act? No, it's not in the HEALS Act. So they can say, you know what, we're going to drop it down, so they'll be, forced to go back to work, or we'll give them an incentive to go back to work. But we're not going to address the people who have been working this whole time. Is that really is that a good value to have? I mean, think about it. Like I said, it seems like common sense to me, but we need to focus on the values. And we're just not doing that. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I really do. So in the comments section, let me know what you think about it, because this is one of those things that this is the future of this country. We're thinking in the now right now. We're thinking about the money. Oh, we don't have the money, but this is the future of our country. And if our values break down now, it's going to take a long time for us to gain trust in our government and feel that our government cares about us. So let me know down below, and also let me know in the chat.